All right, hey book lovers. Today I have Weng Kiat with me. He's going to share a book that he picked up after 5 years, and it's because of COVID and the things that the things that he's been doing, and the journey of his life has been going through COVID. It's kind of like make him want to read this book again, and he found a lot of value from it. So welcome aboard, Weng Kiat.
Hi, thanks, Richard. So, my name is Weng Kiat, and I'm on my mid 40, a father of two. So, yeah, I work in a sales department for agriculture products. So this is my first time having an online book review. So I hope to learn from Richard how to do a book review, and then how to share stories.
Yeah, how is the situation right now with COVID in where you're working?
Basically, we are still working from home, and then unless everybody got their booster shot, then we just try to see how's it developed, because nowadays everybody can work from home as long as you have a phone. That's about it. So I think everybody is start accepting working offsite, and then occasionally we just pops into office for meetings and to discuss important issues. That's all only.
And how many books have you read since COVID started? I've been reading like a couple of books a month because I'm at home, right? What about yourself?
I don't have that much because the speed that I read is very in Malays we call it santai, very slow. And then if it is not because of this book review, I won't be able to finish this book so fast again. So I think having this interview, it actually motivates me to start pick up reading. Reading is one of my pastime, and then relax kind of hobby.
And you mentioned that you prefer to read hard copy books rather than e-books.
Yes, because hard copy books, it gives me a feeling. So as you can see, these books, it's actually you see there's fungus and then turn yellow, and you can know the age of this book. So basically, okay, let me share with the viewer how I got into this book review interview, because I was trying to make a transition. It's my New Year resolution to make a transition from physical book to e-book. So actually, I met one of Richard's common friend, which is from Kindle, Malaysia, that he introduced me to this interview.
Okay, now I saw you picking up a book, and that's the book that you're gonna share first. You wanna kind of like give us a brief of this book that you took with you during this journey of going through COVID?
Sure. Okay, the title of this book is How Will You Measure Your Life? It is by Oxford's academician, Professor Clayton and Christensen. So not only he's from this academic background, but he is actually a consulting, a management consultant, and he started a listed company, a technology company, back then. One of the very unique point of this book is that while Clayton is writing this book, he's actually having cancer himself, and he actually passed away. So whatever he speaks, he wrote here, you can actually feel that he really want his reader to learn about his journey, to learn about his way of tackling the life issue.
So just to be clear, he was actually having cancer already, and he knew he was going to die.
Yes.
And before that end of day, he decided to write a book.
Correct.
During that time.
Correct.
So this book is very insightful, I would think, for his kids.
Correct. Because he is actually teaching this class during his university times, really. So one of the very first example that he gave to us is that I believe everybody has gone through a school reunion, and people tends to compare each other and then try to catch up and see, hey, what are you doing, and then how's your life doing, and then how's your work, kind of things, you see. So one of the key question or issue this Clayton has raised is that how come there are people who are financially successful in the eye of the public, but their personal life is screwed up. They maybe they got divorced many times, and then maybe they have other health issue, they have alcoholic issue, kind of things, you see. So this book is about to explain why is this happening, you see, because he's been a researcher, and then he's been monitoring his student for the past 10 or 20 years. That's why I think the information from this book is very valuable as a reference for us, because it is something that we can understand, and it happens around us.
Yeah, I've so during my age right now, I mean, this juncture of my life, I do think a lot about death. Starting to come to the realization that we are all mortal people and we'll not be able to live forever. And the things that we treasure most around us, including, I guess, family, kids, will one day be taken away from us. So I think this book might be very insightful. I'm actually very interested to listen or actually learn from you about this book, because somehow or the other, it will come, right? These kind of things. Right. Yeah. So what is the first takeaway from this book that you can share with us?
Okay, the first takeaway is that we have to differentiate. What is your motivation? You see, everybody has to work, right? Has to build out a career in order to sustain a living. So a lot of time we have forgotten what is important. You see, in this book, Clayton has clearly mentioned a very simple management theory. They call it a hygiene factor and motivation. Motivation. So hygiene factor is namely on your job title. You are a general manager, you are a business director, etc., etc. Your social status, your salary, and then the car that you drive. Okay, these are the hygiene factors. What does it mean by hygiene factors? Is that these are the factors that if you don't have, you will. It is related to dissatisfaction. If you don't have, you will feel dissatisfied. You see. So another factor is motivation factors. Motivation factor is more on internalized, meaning to say that your job satisfaction, your sense of purpose, and then your relationship, your time with your family. You see? So most of us, we are too busy with our daily activities, climbing the corporate ladder. If let's say it is for entrepreneur, they are trying to expand their business, and this book has actually tell us how to evaluate and then try to get our own balance. One of the example that he quoted is that the investor banker. So like traders, all this, the nature of the job is to get the financial rewards. Therefore, it depends on what kind of person you are. So, but then later part of the book, he will explain why chasing only the financial reward will cause you a problem, because it's just like people misuse of fundings, like falsify the accounts, etc., etc. So, in a nutshell, the first takeaway is that we must identify. The hygiene factor is that if let's say they pay you more salary, is that it will only remove your dissatisfaction. but it won't make you happy.
And the happiness is when you address the internal satisfaction.
Correct.
And if you don't have the internal satisfaction in place, no matter how much you focus on the external one, it will never satisfy you. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, interesting. And how did he suggest or the strategies that we should put in place to kind of work on that?
Okay, so what happened is that, you see, he is telling the reader from a corporate point of view. When we work in any company, I mean, the management will start to have a vision statement, will start to have this quarterly goal, this and that, you see. So what he is suggesting that we must also have our own strategy towards this, you see. So this will come to my second takeaway, which is the strategy that Clayton has proposed. You see, for example, the strategy that he mentioned, only two. One is deliberate, another one is just hang on so that I got it right. Mark it somewhere.
One is deliberate.
Yeah, deliberate. And one is emergent. It's just like, for example, a finance and accounts graduate, he wants to be an investment banker. Okay, so he will plan for it, he'll work hard for it deliberately. Okay, without considering whether this is the thing that he likes or not. Okay, so what he is suggesting is that we cannot be too focused. Yeah, we must also look at just follow the flow of life, so that when opportunity arise, then we can stop and think about that, whether that is suitable for us or not. So that's why he said that it is emergent. For example, the author himself, he studied management, but further on, he took up this MBA and was hoping that to get into this Wall Street Journal as a journalist. But it happened that he didn't get the job, and he got offered to go back to Oxford University to be an academician. So he used the hygiene factor and motivation factors to assess what he wants. You see, and he treated this as an emergence, meaning that a sidetrack opportunity. So he just took the opportunity and teach in university, and this has actually paved his later career path, you see, to start his own company, this and that.
Yeah, it's like the saying goes, you cannot see what's going to happen for going forward, but you can see what makes sense going backward, right? You can see how it all connects.
Correct.
And that if you got a goal, it's not necessarily it's a straight line.
Yes.
It's actually a very messy line that you cannot predict. And I guess what you're saying, emergence, you just have to go with the flow sometimes and create that balance that it will work out eventually.
Yes.
I see.
This is the one. Yeah. So you see, what he was trying to tell us is that we have to kind of like embrace change. Things does not necessarily work in a single direction. And
what happens if one forces it, that I'm an investment banker, I got that goal, I'm going to get it at all costs, and you're forcing through it? What will happen? They're going to be like,
that's why the person has to be assured this is what he wants. And then, because you see, a lot of time I hear from some of my friends who is in a management position, sometimes they do complain to me and say, hey, if I wasn't taking up this position, I could have, etc. I could have something, you see. So at times when we see people traveling, and then people have a different lifestyle, this and that, but we do not know at the background whether he feels happy or not. So the author is trying to tell us to try to fight for something, which you really feel happy about it.
Yeah.
Because in this book, he's saying a lot of example, saying that people just want the status, people just want the money, people just want the position. Yeah, it is nothing wrong. It is nothing wrong. But whenever you go for it, make sure it is aligned with your internal self. Because he quoted this example is that people can commit suicide later part of the career path because they still don't feel happy. It is just like when you got a promotion, but you still don't feel happy. So he provides another strategy or suggestion, which is the third point of this book.
Yeah.
This is to develop a purpose. Is to develop a purpose. Your purpose and my purpose and other people's purpose could be totally different. So therefore, it actually offers us a perspective is that we can never compare to others. Okay? So in order to create this purpose, he has actually pointed out 3 points. The first one is likeness. The second one is commitment. The third one is metrics. Okay. The first one, likeness, is that it's just like he quoted one example. It's just like a painter, oil painter. So before they start to apply the oil paint, they will use pencil to do their draft, to put out what they want. So he has explained, we really need to spend time on this to think about what kind of person we want to be, what kind of father we want to be, what kind of son or sibling we want to be. Which is, I also asked this question among my friends, and most of my friends they admitted, long time we didn't talk about this, because we are facing day-to-day challenge and work, that we forgot what is most important to us, which is the core message that this book is trying to tell us. How do you measure your life? So the answer is that we need to think of what is truly important for us.
I see. And that is, of course, likeness, right? What about the other two?
Okay, when the other two is commitment. You see, if let's say I say that I want to be a good husband, then you have to commit and to love your wife, and then you have to commit to love your children. And it is not by saying it. So in some of the chapters, he did mention that about relationship, which I will not elaborate further from here. For example, it's just that you try to understand our spouse. Yeah. I mean, people might say that, oh, I buy flowers, I help them to do house chore. But is that what your spouse needed? Do we really understand what is their internal needs, their emotional needs, kind of things? You see, this is only one of the examples that in the commitment. So it happens, Clayton, born in a very staunch Christian family. So he is very devoted to his religion. He actually spent 1 hour each night to read the script, and then to do reflection on himself. So, but I think this is important. I mean, if let's say I'm not a Christian, I can always try to practice meditation or do some exercise just to clear my mind. At least he's saying some time for yourself, to think about what is really important.
I understand that what Clayton meant when he said that you need some time for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you actually take career breaks or sabbaticals during your career? Is this something that you would do?
I have never thought of that because all this while I don't think I can afford that with the. I mean, first thing is our own. Worried, yeah, about not having the financial income to support our living. So I have seen people did that, yeah, by adjusting their lifestyle, but I have not go into that path yet. Yeah, taking a short break on leave, yes, I did, or maybe during change of career or change of job in between, yeah. But taking a sabbatical leave or career break is not there yet.
Okay. It's a very interesting topic that maybe we can discuss another day. I know it's not an Asian thing, but it's pretty much an Ang Moh thing. So I did an experiment before. If you take a sabbatical or career break, that means you're in between jobs. That means when you're on a break, you got nothing to think about. There's no meeting to think about. 4 months down the road, there's no planning to be done 3 months down the road, right? So you got a clear canvas. And what I found out that if you're on a sabbatical for 1 month, self-realization will be so. If it's 2 months, it will change. And then when it's 3 months, it will change even more, and you will come up with something will appear while you're on sabbatical. Some realization will appear without you wanting it to come, right? And I thought it was pretty interesting. So it's not an Asian thing, but I think know a lot of Ang Mohs do it, and they were telling me it's actually quite important. So I'm like, okay.
I mean, it is just like while you are having your Ang Moh colleague, when they go for a holiday, they really go for holiday. They don't check their email, and they don't pick up phone call. But for us, when we go for vacation or holidays, we are constantly on the phone.
WhatsApp, man, all that kind of stuff.
WhatsApp.
All right. Okay. Now the third point, the last point.
Okay, let me see, because
because you were sharing about lightness and being committed. There's a third one that you
which is the matrix.
The metrics.
Hang on. The metrics.
Measure ourselves.
Yes. So, okay, the measure of ourselves, it is just that you have to decide whether it is a financial achievement, or you have your family, with you, and then the metrics can be your time spending with the family. Okay, and your children's positive behavior kind of things, and even your faith. So these are a few examples that he mentioned.
So what do you mean by faith, Weng Kiat?
Meaning that their commitment to their religion. Because for him, he's I think from this book, what I understand that he is a very staunch and religious man.
Got it.
You see, in one of the paragraph, he said, "As has been so often in the most difficult parts of my life, this personal confusion precipitated an insight that became the third element of my purpose, the metric by which my life will be measured. I realized that, constrained by the capacity of our mind, we cannot always see the big picture." So basically, he is telling us that again and again, try to stop and think, so that you see the big picture, which he always stressed that family, because he said that why we have so much problem in the society, it is because family is also play a part. The experience that we let our kids go through, the value, the culture. So basically, this is a very interesting book. He will first he will talk about a company. He will give some example. Then from the company, it goes to individual. and he actually articulate all this management theory into a layman term, which anybody can comprehend, can understand very well.
I have one more question for you, Weng Kiat.
Yeah.
How do you measure your life today? You have read this through COVID, right? I'm sure you got
Yes.
some realization. You have already sorted it out somewhat.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, would you like to share a little bit about
yes.
how you measure it?
Definitely. First of all, the most pressing thing that I need to improve is that to spend more time with my kids and my family. Really, I had this discussion with my wife, and then I start to realize that my wife was saying that, hey, even though you are at home, you are always on your WhatsApp, on your computer. You didn't communicate or play with your kids. You see, so this is something that I need to improve. Is to switch off my phone during weekend at least. Yeah. So I think kids grow up very fast, and then I actually regretted not having enough time for my daughter. My daughter is now secondary form 1, secondary year 7, I think, year 7. So I miss a lot of fun with her, because during that time we were in the middle of try to improve our career position, this and that. So after reading this book, it's just like a reflection that reminds us always to stop and think what is important, going back to the drawing board.
And
so by having this,
how would you have done it differently if you were to be able to go back in time?
I would not put the business commitment as the only priorities. You see, because when I was younger, we were talking about trying to get a better financial position, a better career, to support our family, or to have a better lifestyle. You see, but it is something that happened in the point of future. While your time spent with your kids and family does not wait for you. So this is something that hit me the most. Yeah.
I have 2 kids, as you know, and what you're sharing with me is something that I know I'll be thinking of when I reach your level. Yeah. So, well, amazing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when I was younger, reading this book, I didn't feel anything. I would just say that Clayton is telling craps. Okay? Because a lot of all these business book, and then they were talking about we have to constantly on the guard. We have to improve this and that, really. But here, this book is different. This book is using management theory and tell us to stop and think, go back and think what is the most important thing in our life.
Awesome. Well, thanks Weng Kiat, for sharing so much about the book. I've learned so much just by listening to this, listening to you on here. I don't know whether I need to get a book already by now because you've shared so much, but I really appreciate it. And for the rest of you who is out there, who has kids or is going through somewhere along your journey or in your career and wants to reflect on a better future, maybe this is the book for you. You might want to kind of pick it up. So I just want to thank Weng Kiat for sharing. Thank you for coming on this channel, and I hope to see you again very soon. I hope to welcome you back to come and share more about the books that you'll be reading in the future.
Sure, appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Weng Kiat. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. Bye-bye.